Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Hearthcenter, your Tuesday night show, bringing you the hottest results from the last week of THL. I'm one of your hosts, Lotus Knight, and I am joined by the best team we have to offer here on our top left corner. He's been a winner of I have no idea how many THL series. The one and only not in Boston, Neji Boston. Neji, how are you?
Happy to be here. Excited for another show as usual.
Oh yeah, we have a great one tonight, right below Neji. He's been here, I think, almost every show this season. We have Geranium Battle.
Hey, people know how many I've won. It's 0.
On my other side, we have featuring the splendid kitchen background, not the much beloved staircase, Super Chicken.
Hey, yeah. Sorry I missed last week, but yeah, got a little bit sick, but happy to be back.
We're happy to have you back. And last but not least, we have the oldest THL host here, Ron Mexico.
Yeah, how's it going? Excited to be here as always. Looking forward to talking mini set. Previous THL week, we got the final week of regular season action for some series. It should be a good one.
Oh yeah, we have so much to talk about. I'm going to hop right into the action. We're going to start with player of the week, and we're not going to lose time because we're going to move from that. We don't actually have deck of the week this week. We thought we would, but we don't. So we're going straight into hero, followed by hero PAR, legacy PAR, our special commercial, pro and pro PAR, and finally we're going to do a bit of a set review, a mini set review, if you will. Just take a few minutes for everyone to point out what they think is a great card and a not so great card. But the star player of the week, Ron, do you want to tell us our hero player of the week?
Absolutely. So our hero player of the week comes from a person getting their first win in THL competition. It is Tamron, also known as Vampy. So as October and Halloween approaches, Vampy has been looking for his first ever THL win, and they found it in a 3-2 victory over You Kidding Me, helping Hearthstone related content to gain much needed points in the race for playoffs this season. Congratulations on your first win, with hopefully many more to come.
Congratulations, Cameron, aka Vampy, for your hero player of the week. Chicken, do you want to tell us our legacy player of the week?
Yeah. Our legacy player of the week is Dragon Rider. A freaking great assignment for glory. All free games. Anduin felt gross. Pod people put up a very important win over ET Cthulhu, with maybe the most important win coming from Dragon Rider. With a 3-1 and a full sweep over Priest, she took the win over previously undefeated and MT6 participant Trito 2. Now, Pod people stay in the playoff position by 1 point for the second week in a row. Any F2L grouches?
Nice. Congratulations, Dragon Rider, for legacy player of the week. Neji, do you want to tell us our pro EU player of the week?
Can do. We have Groink PFF as our Pro EU Player of the Week. In a huge week for Donkey Hot, Groink PFF landed a sweep. Donkey Hot took a close victory over the tied for 4th place team last week. This puts them in a position to fight for that final playoff spot in the final week of the regular season. Groink PFF did the best thing for the situation, both getting the maximum score and denying all points from his opponent. Good luck to Donkey Hot in the final week as they strive for that final position.
Congratulations, Groink BFF or Groink. I have no idea how to say that. And last but not least, Geranium, do you want to tell us our pro player of the week?
Of course, because stepping in for Aquaman last week was Captain Extraordinaire Diamond in his pro debut. Diamond took a sweep in the 5 seed to help propel his team to a victory over the previously undefeated APM team that still leads the standings in the Pink Conference. A huge win for the captain in the upset over the top team.
I'm sorry, just had a small hiccup here. I want to congratulate Diamond and congratulate one more time all our players of the week. With that, everyone ready to hop into Hero?
For
Yeah,
sure,
let's
let's do
jump
it.
in.
All right, so our first Hero match of the night is going to be Clowntown facing F2L Obsidian. Neji, tell us what happened.
All right, in this match, it was very close. Clowntown took it 14-13 over F2L Obsidian. The week started off with myself beating Base 3-1. I can't remember the order from there out, but we had NJO beat Nails 3-0, Rhat 3-2 over Dr. Bomb D, Two Fly 3-2 over Ricescription, and Righteous Jammies 3-2 over Sharkbait. Very, very close week. It came down to Ricescription and Two Fly. Ricescription needing 1 point for the tie, 2 points for the win, and then 0 points we would have lost the week. And then if he won, then of course he would have won the week. But yeah, it was really close. He was down 2-1 at one point, so needed to win that game and got one more point. So happy to keep the streak going here, just barely squeaking by. But well done to F2 Obsidian. They put up a really big fight here. And also brought 4 Demon Hunters, and we did not bring any. I just noticed that. Apparently they thought it was good.
Nice. I want to ask here, Ron, since there was a Demon Hunter comment, I want to ask you here, what do you have to add about Clowntown versus F2O Obsidian?
Well, I'm a little surprised. I gotta say that the team that went in on Demon Hunter was not the one that came out on top. I've been a big believer in the Fell Relic Demon Hunter deck as of late, but really close one all around. I shouldn't be too surprised that a undefeated team beat a one-win team, I suppose. But a really close one. So props to Obsidian for that. But yeah, Clowntown just kind of still doing their thing and making sure that they're going to be heading towards playoffs. Almost, I think it's indisputably at this point, right? Like, can they even be knocked out of third place? They can't, right? Yeah, I think
Yeah,
they're
no.
guaranteed. Hey, nice job,
Yeah.
Clowntown.
Sweet.
We got a playoff lock.
Congratulations to Clowntown. Any further comments on this match before we go to our second Hero match of the night, where we're going to be looking at a different story here?
Let's move on. Let's do it.
All right, so the second one, we have two hosts facing each other in Hearthstone related content, facing Chicken is Back just in time to smack. And I want to ask Ron here, what happened?
All right. So this one was a big win for Hearthstone related content. Some much needed points and a win heading into the final week to try to lock up a playoff spot, and a rough one for Chicken is Back to uh, take that loss and not pick up too many points in the process. They still have time, of course, but just to run through the matches we had in the 1 seed, yours truly getting the 3-1 gross high roll over Super Chicken. In the 2 seed, it was CMAC taking the 3-1 victory over Lotus Knight. Donde right back at it in the 3 seed with a 3-1 victory over Nine Eyebrows. We had Rotted Zombie with a sweep over Skirt Reynolds in the 4. And in the 5 seed, our previously mentioned player of the week, Tamron, um, this week actually banning a deck that their opponent brought. So, sometimes when you do that, it pays off, and worked out really nicely for a 5-game win and secured them player of the week. Just a good all around performance from a team that really needed it going into the home stretch.
For sure. For sure. We're going to look at the standings soon because things are going crazy over there as well. But still to talk about this match, I want to ask Chicken here if he has anything to add.
Yeah, I was just in time to get smacked this week. It definitely, I think Ron definitely had a better prepared lineup than me, and I kind of misjudged what would be kind of strong in the hero meta. And I think, yeah, I think I definitely got out prepared. Like, yeah, I mean, Ron like, I do think, or as Ron said, he got like a little bit lucky, but I think overall I did just lose because I think Ron brought a better or a more well-rounded lineup and more a better balance of like control and aggro and anti-aggro, that sort of thing.
I will say that I
Uh
was happy with my lineup and the counters, but primarily you got out ruined. Rune of the Archmage just decided that you were not allowed to win.
yeah, Rune is always fun. Everyone loves Rune. Yeah, also CMAC is just winning all the time this season. Um Uh, usually goes like, oh, whenever I lose, CMAC always wins. That's a given. Um, but he's also just been winning most of the weeks, which is pretty cool. Um, everyone else doing okay. I think we're definitely like not too worried about making it into playoffs. Need to not choke another week like this. But if we stay, if we stay on course, stay fairly consistent, we should be able to make it into playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I really think this is a true testament to staying active in the game. A lot of players have been sort of feeling out of it, feeling like they shouldn't play the game, and CMAC is always in here playing Mercs, so he's got the
It's
game
so
knowledge.
true.
What a
Awesome.
true Hearthstone moment.
It's really good prep.
So I'm gonna ask a question. This is not to buy time for me to set up something as an op. No, I would never ever do that. It's a legitimate question. Has anyone played Mercs recently?
Yes,
I still have my mercenaries packs in my pack section. I have 7 mercenaries packs that will never be opened.
Mercs.
I
What?
regularly play mercenaries every time I have a quest to do like 100 arcane damage or 100 frost damage or something like that. It's really easy to get it in mercenaries in like a single uh match or something and then retire the thing and get out of there.
Hmm.
So,
yeah,
kind of useful.
yeah. I'm just like Ron. I also regularly play Mercs every day.
Find the best way to complete those quests is to re-roll them.
Also a valid strategy.
I'll be
But when
honest.
you roll frost into arcane, you feel bad.
That is tough. That is tough. You just gotta wait till tomorrow and hope you don't get the same one of those quests again.
The game's trying to tell you to play mercs, and you're like, no, game, get out of here.
I do wish I could just throw the Mercs packs into the void or something and just take them out of my game, but I can't do that, sadly.
Well, with that, I'm going to bring us into our next hero match, which is not a Mercs match. No, Mercs series didn't actually happen. We have a team finally getting their first win. Duranium, tell us what is that about?
Of course, we have Dad Legend with their first win against F2L Black. Dad Legend now 1-5, F2L Black now 2-2 because with Stingy taking a 3-1 win over Reed Bobson. Desharmo sweeping Diamond, he's playing in the two. Okay. Starlax with a 3-2 win over Jespine. Bone Masher sweeping over Risen, who was previously undefeated, and then Yellow Dart with a 3-2 over Totino's Pizza in the 5. Yeah, we have a lot of players who should not be playing in their respective seeds. Bone Masher and Risen, why are they in the 4s? Yellow Dart, why is he in the 5? And Diamond, why are you in the 2? But yeah, it's pretty great results all around. Lots of Hunter bans.
Neji, anything you want to add about this one?
Well, congrats to Dad Legend on getting the first win. I don't know if it's going to be enough to really propel them forward, but still a good confidence booster. Diamond hopping in for F2L Black, I believe, is a perma sub. And next week, I guess we'll be moving down to the 3 seed. Jespin's passed him in PR. So see how that goes. I know Diamond started on a different team and then ended up leaving that team and now perma subbing onto another team. So he's just doing musical chairs with teams this season. Yeah, not much else to add here. Well done to Dad Legend.
Congratulations, Dad Legend, on their win. It might be too late. I mean, the numbers kind of scream it, but you never know.
Yeah, they could finish with 95 points on the season. That might be enough for third place. It's possible. You never know.
Yeah, Diamond really did pull the whole play for 1 week just to sweep me with Imp Warlock, then drop the series. But he's back. He's back.
I like that strat.
Yeah, so do I. That said, why don't we take a look at the standings? I want to ask Chicken here, what are the standings for Hero looking like?
Yeah, I feel it seems like as soon as playoffs start coming into the picture, the hero standings just get closer and closer. like I mean, just starting off with Teal Conference, we have Team Edward in first with 91 points, and we have Hearthstone related content, ET Yasharaj, and abducting players' minions at 90 points. EPM has already had one match played this week, so 4 of those are from this week. But yeah, still incredibly close. Then after that is F2L Black. And at the bottom, we have F12 Obsidian, who, despite being 1-5, is still, within reach of a playoff spot. How many hero weeks are there left? 2?
Oh no,
One.
this is
This
last
is
week.
it.
Oh, this is the last
This
week. Oh,
this
okay. So
mega
it would
week
be
is
a
all that's left.
little tough. Okay, never mind. It would be very tough to make playoffs for F12 Obsidian, but it is still technically possible. Yeah, they would ET Yashraj or Hearthstone related content would just really have to completely fumble. But
Okay,
uh,
but there can't be 2 conferences with 5 teams in it, right?
I don't know. I haven't done the math on it. F2 Obsidian might be mathematically eliminated. Dad
I
Legend
mean,
maybe not.
Team Edward down to F2L Black are
oh
all
right,
in conference. Like they're all fighting right there. Purple
Yeah,
conference can't be that close.
Teal is
um,
nonsense right now.
but yeah, yeah. So moving over to Purple Conference, little more lopsided at the top. At least we have Clown Town with 107 points. Then we have Chicken is back just in time to smack at 87. Another Pit of Misery at 81. The Cult at 79. No Pros here at 78, and Dad Legend at 72. So, although aside from the top team in purple, I think the playoff race with the for the bottom teams is actually closer because that third place team APM is only 9 points away from last place in the conference. So it is like literally anyone's game here in this last week in purple conference.
What a season. This is just a great season of Hero. I want to ask you, Chicken, and I might open for opinions, might not because I want to keep us on time, but I want to ask you, what three teams make it from each conference?
That's an easy one. We will surely will make playoffs. I mean, yeah, the Nine Eyebrows, Skirt Reynolds, CMAC team, hasn't missed playoffs in a very long time. I don't know if they ever have. So I think
Once.
really, okay, yeah, that was before my time. Um, but yeah, I think we'll have Clown Town at the top, then Chicken is back, and surely APM would never miss playoffs. Let's say APM is gonna make playoffs. And then in teal, I'll go with Hearthstone related content for sure.
It's going to be hard because APM is facing Hearthstone related content.
Yes. It's actually the game plan is to crowd them out of playoffs once again.
No, 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 no.
Oh, okay. Wait. Oh, like they're playing another Pit of Misery this week? Okay, I changed my
Yeah.
pick. The cult is making playoffs.
No, 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 no.
Hey, listen, I talked about it last week when we were going over
Oh,
the
sorry. Did I say
standings.
APM? I meant APM is making playoffs. Yeah.
Uh,
Abducting players minions is gonna be making
Oh, see,
playoffs,
there it is. There it
and
is.
then also Team Edward. So yeah, I'll go Team Edward, Hearthstone related content, and abducting players minions, and then Clown Town, Chicken is back, and the cult.
Love it.
Nice. I'll open this one for everyone. Let's start with Neji. Who makes top six?
Purple, it'll be Clowntown, Chicken, and APM. And teal, it will be Team Edward, ET, and APM.
Brutal.
Unlucky for Ron.
I want to ask Geranium here. Who makes top six?
I think okay, in purple I think it's really close because Clowntown and Chicken are probably both making it and probably winning their week. And then I think the bottom four teams are all losing their week. And then so I think I mean it's just based on how badly they lose. So I think losing and still making it is gonna be the cult. Uh and then um for the other conference, the teal conference, I think it is going to be abducting players minions. I think it's going to be oh I should rely on a different source. Okay. Abducting players minions, I think it's going to be Hearthstone related content with a huge win, and I think ET Yasharaj. I think
Trying to
Team
just
Edward
reverse
doesn't make it.
jinx yourself. All right.
Hey, Wild9 hasn't won a game in like 3 weeks, bro.
It's coming.
Well,
He gets to play Dante.
That's true. And last but not least,
Easy.
Ron. Who makes it?
All right, purple, obviously Clown Town's already locked. Chicken is still gonna make it. They'll dodge the choke. And unfortunately APM is gonna choke. No pros here is gonna get there. And then in teal, we're going with Hearthstone related content, abducting players' minions, and yeah, Team Edward's gonna hang on to the top spot. As I predicted a couple weeks ago, actually, when I was talking about Hearthstone related content's hardest strength of schedule in all of Hero, which has now changed. We no longer have the hardest strength of schedule, just the second hardest. I said, surely, that's going to get easier now, right? Guess what? Not at all, because we're playing the top teams in purple in Chicken and APM in back-to-back weeks. But that will just be all the more impressive when we beat them. One down, one to go.
Some fighting words from Ron Mexico. And with that, I think it's time for us to go to PPR.
Let's
And
do it.
the one with our hero PPR, I believe, is actually Super Chicken. Chicken, take us through it.
Yeah, I'm just doing. I'm just going through everything in Hero right now. So in our honorable mentions, we have Wyfair at 4-2. We have Quaz at 4-2. Jessbean at 4-2. Vampire Nighthawk at 3-3, and Geranium Battle at 4-2. Then rounding out our top 10 are Vinospumoni at 5-2, Rayscription at 4-2, Aquaman at 4-1, Risen at 5-1, CMAC at 5-1. Actually, everyone's at 5-1. Then we have Mako with a 16-4 game score. Nomad Farmer with a 17-7 game score. Ridiculous Hat with a 17-10 game score. Who put him up there? Why does he have 10 losses? Then we have Ron Mexico at 17-7. And at the top, we have Bone Masher with a 17-8 game score. This reeks of Donde, let me tell you.
Rigged.
Um,
How is
this
Mako
is
not number one? Unacceptable.
Now, any final comments on Hero PPR? I just want to congratulate everyone who's here, but anyone has anything else to say before we move on to Legacy?
Hey, one more week. You can still play yourself in. Given a certain baseline record, but there's still time. Get yourself on the board.
Surely I'll make it into PPR next week if I go 4-3.
I believe
Surely.
you'll jump Vampire Nighthawk at 3-3. It'll happen.
I think so.
Now, bringing us into Legacy. We're going to start Legacy by looking at the Gold Conference, as we usually do. So, Legacy has a lot to talk about. We're going to start our first match. Is All Plays Magnified facing Illidan's Death Knights. Dranium, take it away.
Okay, so all plays magnified faced off against Illidan's Death Knights and took a rather close loss, with Cheesy 10 starting off the week by getting swept by JR Juggerlaw, who will always play first and, well, it looks like this season always win. Then Molestar continuing to win in the 2 with a 3-1 over Genji. Fudov taking the sweep over a Nubinator, who has not found a win yet. Reverb, 3-1 win over Nomad Farmer, and Jolt C taking the 3-0 sweep over Righteous Jammies. From what I understand, Bone Masher and JR sort of worked together to create Illidan's Death Knights this season, and it shows. Bone Masher, taking the the somewhat better low end, whereas Illidan's Death Knight's taking a super, super heavy top end here, and they trade blows.
Sure. I'm going to ask Chicken here. Anything you want to add about APM versus IDK?
Glad Fudov held it together. Didn't give someone 200 PR or lower than him their first win of the season. So great job kicking a Nubinator back into the dirt. For
Rude.
uh, but yeah, IDK kind of doing what you would expect them to do on paper. Yeah, they're very strong top end, winning their matches, and then kind of sacrificing a little bit in the bottom two seeds in terms of PR, and not getting wins there. Although, I mean, they still win the week, get 16 points in an ever close playoff race. So yeah, great for them.
Yeah, just FYI, Illidan's Death Knights number 2 in their conference at the moment. In silver.
Yeah, they just jumped up there.
We are going to get to the Silver Conference soon, but keeping here in gold, what are the standings looking like after this Geranium?
Well, How I Met Your Murgle won their week, so they are jumping up even higher to 104 points. Whereas colon closed parenthesis and all plays magnified actually got the same number of points, both lost. So they are staying the same distance apart, 89 and 81. The Stubbs, though, with a big win, jumping up to 80, is now in the playoffs race because only top two teams make it. And Not Justin staying, unfortunately, quite far behind at 60 points.
Yeah, I was kind of ready to write the Stubbs off as of last week, but they got a huge win here, and there's still 2 weeks left, so they're in the thick of it now.
So, I believe that is it for us with Gold Conference. It's still a tight race, other than How I Met Your Murgle, which basically they've gone through. And I don't know how many weeks of Legacy we have left. Can someone confirm that information?
Two.
I believe it is too. Yeah, it's 8 weeks
Yep.
of legacy.
Okay, so there's still time for things to happen. We are going to see more, and I would still really doubt How I Met Your Murgle false, but we'll keep an eye out as we look into our Red Conference. Ron, tell us what happened in the Red Conference.
All right, so in red, we've got the Diamond 5 versus the Cooler. Um, and the Diamond 5 kept their streak rolling, uh, moving up to 5-1 on the season with a 20-6 victory. Down the board, 1 through 5, everybody won. We had some close ones. Neji got the 3-1 victory in the one. There were two 5-game series. Dankestad taking it to 5 over Bremen, and myself almost giving someone their first victory of the season, but just barely escaping in Game 5 with my win over Big Money. In the 4 seed, we've got Ricescription taking a sweep over Icer, and Kotamora in the 5 with a 3-1 over Wakamole. Just really, really strong season so far from the Diamond 5, and the Cooler having a rough one. They are our defending legacy champions, but it doesn't look like they're likely to make an appearance in the playoffs this season.
Well, defending champions from 2 seasons.
Or my bad, 2 seasons ago. SCD's the reigning champs.
Yep. And Neji, anything you want to share about this match?
Yeah, going into the week, I was talking to Ron about it. CBeak and Big Money haven't been having the best season, and we were hoping not to each give them their first win. So happy that worked out that way. But yeah, overall, just big win for the Diamond 5. The Cooler still going to be far down the standings there with 2 weeks left. I think it's going to be tough to pull it back. Yeah, nothing much else to say here. Just a lot of points.
Yes, strong showing for Diamond 5. Another team that's basically guaranteed at this point. Tell me, Ron, what are the standings looking like with this?
All right. So for Red Conference, again, the Diamond 5 probably all but locked up for playoffs, even with 2 weeks remaining at 112 and 5-1. Pod People close behind 80. Well, not super close, but like second place, 89 points with 3-3 record. F2L White barely behind them with 88 points and 3-3 record. And then School of Fish at 79 and 2-4, and Dad Legend at 72 and 1-5. There's still enough time left that every team in this conference could realistically have a path to playoffs, but some of them are much tougher than others with the point standings as it is. Looks like a really close race between Pod People and F2L White right now for that second place spot to make playoffs.
Yeah. That's off the back of F2L White having a full sweep week as well. I know we're not going to feature that one. So Pod People just barely clutching on to that second place right now.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a tight race for second place here in Red Conference. And let's take a look at Silver Conference. Chicken, tell us about our silver featured match in Season 22 closed list Conquest participants facing colon closed parentheses.
Yeah, it was a match that we were a little bit concerned going into because colon close parentheses had struggled a bit at the start of the season, but had definitely been building up some momentum and winning their more recent weeks. So we definitely felt like they were one of our tougher opponents for the season, but managed to get wins in most of the seeds, except for the match that was on stream on Sunday night, yeah, in which Justin's Steam got a little cleaned. Uh, yeah, he was not expecting the Steam cleaner, but yeah, maybe it's a sign that no one should bring Quest Priest ever because Quest Priest lost every game in that in that series. So,
Not true.
well, Quest Priest did beat Quest Priest, so
So true.
Amazing.
there is that. Um, but yeah, my match went fairly smoothly against Nails. Um, I don't know like specifically the what happened in the games of like is that you hitting me in tab. I just saw that they were winning. But yeah, this is I mean, definitely gives our team a nice bit of breathing room. Separates us a decent bit in Silver Conference, so don't have to stress too much over the next couple of weeks. Obviously, we're still going to be trying to win and such, but um, yeah, we feel pretty safe in our playoff spot.
For sure. Uranium, anything you want to add about this match?
Yeah. So as Chicken was saying, only one of these was played on stream. The other four were actually all played on Friday, and I think I'm now going to refer to that day as Bloody Friday, as yeah, I sort of just at some point I just decided to turn off Discord and not watch the results come in. Um, and yeah, I will say it's incorrect to say that Quest Priest lost every game in my match because my Quest Priest did win the unfavorable over Beast Hunter to close it out. And yeah, I mean, even though my team may be probably missing playoffs because of this, at least I got a Steam clip. So
I mean, you say that, but you're second place in gold.
we
If the
mm,
playoffs
we
started
have
today, you'd be in.
yeah, they don't start today. So
All right. Breaking from team captain, zero faith in his team's abilities over the next 2 weeks. Solid. Clip it.
Surely Paladin will be good now.
Look, if we have to rely on the 2 and 4 player and the 3 to win games, I don't know, man.
Surely we'll find a sub for Nails.
I already have.
Oh, that's why I said surely.
True.
Yep, there is a secret hub going to happen. Not going to reveal who it is, but we'll see who it is next week. And in the meanwhile, Chicken, why don't you tell us what the silver standings are looking like after this?
All right. In Silver Conference, at the top, we have Season 22 closed list Conquest participants with 109 points. Then in second, we have Illidan's Death Knights at 88. In third, we have Zyrella's Disciples at 84 points, tied with STD at 84. And then in last place, we have the Slaw Bunnies at 75 points. So yeah, Slaw Bunnies a little bit behind, but still certainly not out of it with 2 weeks remaining. Yeah, so that last playoff spot in Silver Conference is still completely up for grabs.
This seems to still be a very tight conference. Really, everyone having a chance, which has been a trend here. I wonder if it's going to be a trend with the final conference of the night. And with that,
I wonder.
let's introduce our final match of the night. We're going to have Neji tell us more about Hot Zilfs facing the School of Fish. Neji, take it away.
All right, the Hot Zilfs won 18-8 over School of Fish. This was a really important match for the Zilfs. They were fairly far down the standings from the top two, and they managed to get 18 points here, so this was huge for them. Coles 3-2 over Yo Daddy, Astral Frog 3-0 over Zancat, Donde 3-1 over Smear, G Kick subbing in. I think that's a perma sub now. 3-1 over Two Fly, and Laughing Frog 3-2 over Gymphalos. So huge week for Hot Zelfs. We'll see the standings afterwards, but it really helped them give themselves a chance in the last few weeks here to pull themselves into a playoff spot.
Nice. Congratulations to the Hot Zilfs for beating School of Fish. Ron, anything you want to share here?
I see Demon Hunter all the way down for Hot Zilfs. I don't know if that's a trend that will continue with the mini set, although there are some interesting Demon Hunter cards that came out in the mini set, but definitely looks like a strategy that paid off for them in this one. Pretty important victory to get that many points with just a couple weeks left, and it catapults them right into the contenders section of Blue Conference.
For sure.
So nicely done.
And Neji, with that, what is this Blue Conference looking like? This looks very different than every single conference we've seen thus far.
Yeah, we have some high point totals at the top and some pretty low point totals at the bottom. And then we got Hot Zilfs just sitting in the middle here. 4 to 5 Justins have 103, ET Cthulhu with 102, Hot Zilfs with 90, the Cooler with 60, and Dumbledore's Army with 56. So at this point, I think it's fairly safe to say the Cooler and Dumbledore's Army are out of the race here. But the Zilfs pulled themselves back in, and we'll see if they can close in with this second last week coming up and see what happens down the stretch here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Dumbledore's army is actually mathematically eliminated, even if E.T. Cthulhu gets swept both weeks and Dumbledore's army sweeps both weeks.
Unlucky.
56 is very low when you have teams in your conference with 102 and 103, especially with how much of a gap they've been putting to the others.
Yeah, right now it's just it's looking like a very interesting challenge for Hot Zilfs to see if they can crack in, because right now those two teams at the top have a bit of a stranglehold.
Now, we'll keep an eye out for Legacy. We are not going to ask yet which teams make it, because that's next week. But I want to go PPR. And we have our Legacy specialist, Geranium Battle, to tell us about Legacy PPR.
Of course. At the bottom of Legacy PPR, honorable mentions, we have G-Kick, 3-0, undefeated, but only those 3 weeks in. So staying down there, Dankest Dad is 4-1, also missing a week. Chewy is at 5-1 and somehow isn't top 10. Rescription is also 5-1 right there. Wicked Good also missing top 10 with a 4-2. Then in the top 10, Bassoon Buffoon, also 4-2. Super Chicken staying with 5-1. Slod is in 8th place with 4-1, having missed a week but still making top 10, stay winning. Trito 2 is there with 5-1. Kodomora also 5-1, 17-9 game score. 5th place goes to the actual Buddha, who's in top 200 legend and 5-1. 4th place goes to Just Concede, who's undefeated, but had to miss a week. Laughing Frog, the 5 seed at 5-1. And in 2nd place, Memnarch, still undefeated with a 5-0, and JR Juggerlaw taking the top at 5-0. I think the only reason these players are undefeated is because they missed the week they would have lost.
Real.
I want to congratulate all of our BPR players. And these are all incredible records, and you all deserve to be here.
Wait a second. How is JR and Memnarch above Just Concede? After I just gave Just Concede the player of the week for like the absolutely cracked opponents he had to beat. Okay.
Yeah,
GM
Just
Marty,
Concede beat me, so surely he's the best.
Rigged.
well, there's still time. There's still 2 weeks, so we're going to see what happens over the next 2 weeks if any of these players actually get to the 7-0, the very coveted 7-0. But for now, we have everyone's favorite segment, and I hope you're all as excited as I am for it. We have our commercial break. And yes, this is probably one of the only shows where people are actually excited for the commercial break. So, with that being said, I want to invite Super Chicken to read us our commercial.
All right. I haven't done this since last season, I think. So here we go. All right. Yo, 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 yo. Hey there, Twitcherooers. Have you subscribed to Team Hearth League yet? Then make today the day to be a league yourself and subscribe to our channel. This subscription enables the THL team to cope the various costs of cooperating our website, as well as improve the quality of our streams and content to our whoers. If you have Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime, you can submarine the channel for free. Subscribers will get a THL Smojecon as well as the bigly THL chat badge. So hit that frown button and keep notifications bing bong to make sure you catch our team bat chesting live. We appreciate each and every one of you. Special smoj to our viewers. Check out THL's other social media points of interest. Website teamhearthleague.com. Catch us on Twitter at THL_HS. Join us on Discord, Team Hearth League. Update us on Tumblr, Kachow Kerchu Krakow. The true Team Hearth Leagues himself, Saku and Damless Dad, continue being to roast all of our videos on our YouTube channel. Just search for Team Hearth League to see every being previously recorded. You're, of course, watching us on our Twitch channel, Backdoes, twitch.tv/Team Hearth League, or possibly on our YouTube channel in the future. And for all your THL fanfics out there are THL smojers every single moist days of the week. You can't go bong tuning in at any time for some Hearthstone related content. Now back to the good part. Ka-chow.
Incredible.
Indeed.
It's the best part of the show.
It's getting to be just a thing of its own. It's just a thing of beauty at this point. So with that beautiful commercial read that I want to thank Chicken again for, is everyone ready to hop on the Pro Series?
Absolutely.
Indeed.
So our first Pro match, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of setup while we're when we start Pro, but we are going to start with Coney Island Clown Cup, who got a close win over NPH. Neji, take it away.
All right, the Coney Island Clown Club came in undefeated, and it did remain that way. 13-11 over No Pros here. We had myself win 3-0 over XQMA. We had Izot 3-1 over Kaz. Pee Wee swept Nails. QSNS 3-1 over Always Just in Time, and Lambie Series 3-2 over Your Mum Kid. It was very close. This has been happening a lot this week. Came down to the very last match, Izot versus Kaz. But luckily for our team, Izot got the best of them. Yeah, overall, really close week. A few things to note with the decks. For some reason, Izot and Justin brought Charge Warriors. Didn't know Warrior was a playable class until they submitted. But managed to get the win with it because it was banned? Question mark.
That's it's a hell of a strat by Izat.
When Izat was like, "All right, going in, I banned Priest. Oh, and my Warriors banned." It just didn't phase him at all. I'm like, huh? Sorry, what? The Warrior is banned? I mean, it worked out. Didn't work out for Justin, unfortunately, but I know they've been having success with the deck, so I won't knock it. I haven't played it myself, but still, seeing Warrior is interesting. And also, one other thing, I'm surprised the only people in the entire match who brought Big Spell Mage were in my match, myself and XQMA. I feel like the deck's still pretty scammy, still pretty good, so a bit surprised there. Although I guess XQMA did lose 3 times in a row in Big Spell Mage, so maybe it's not that good.
That is true. Geranium, anything you want to add about this one?
Yeah, I mean, as Ron said earlier, XCOMA probably should have just played Rune more. I heard that wins games. Also, Always Just in Time could have maybe thought to bring Hunter. The rest of his team did, and that unfortunately means that the Naga Priest was, sort of the other clear ban. Meanwhile, we see a little bit of the Shaman still popping up, Miracle Rogue still popping up. Huh. Well, I mean, Lambie Series did win with Mine Rogue, so it had to be good somewhere.
That's true. There was a win with Mine Rogue, which, yeah, is actually a deck. Anything anyone else wants to add about this match before we move on to our second black match?
I just need to make it clear. I don't okay these sus lineups, guys, so it's okay. Even though they're a little questionable.
Yeah. Coney Island Clown Club still struggling to get their loss in the main season so they don't lose in playoffs.
Don't worry. It's coming.
I'm hearing all of these lineups are Neji approved.
Yeah.
I do want to note, at least Warrior got some support in the mini set. That's just going to break the game.
So true.
So here I want to bring us to our second match in Black Conference. And to talk about this one, let me make sure I have the right person here and not the wrong as I usually do. We have Geranium Battle. Geranium, tell us about XD versus F2L.
XD took a huge win over F2L, 20-4, almost the 20. I mean, F2L not even almost getting as many points as a single win on the week, with Dazer sweeping Liquidox, Seth for Christ being the worst XD member at with a game 5 win over Marty B. I subbed in for Just Concede, while Mild Sambal, who is a BG's player, subbed in for Itachi. Maxibon, 1-2-3-4, got the sweep over Rebobson, and Tom Carter won 3-1 over F2L Snake. And you can see here, you can actually see what my list for Control Paladin was in Legacy. It's extremely standard. and it always beats Ramp Druid, which is what it did.
Sus.
Nice. Well, that was a strong showing for XD, though. I don't know about Control Paladin, but maybe Chicken can tell us more about this match or about Control Paladin.
Yeah, Control Paladin is a deck. And I would know because I am an expert on bad Paladin decks, and right now all Paladin decks are bad. But maybe they won't be next week. Just kidding, they're still bad. Dankasad was really trying to make Paladin work today. The deck class is still bad. It is a bit better. It's pretty interesting, but yeah, Paladin still sucks. Um, but Cyrella's disciples are still good, and they got 23 points, which is you know, as many as you can get. So good on them.
Now, with this showing, what does this do to the Black Conference standings, Neji? Are two teams already in? Do we have a guaranteed first place into the last week of playoffs?
Yeah, so Coney Island Clown Club still at the top, but the gap has been closed a bit by XD with their massive week. So Coney Island Clown Club with 108, XD at 100, NPH right now at 90, Cheesemongers United at 88, ET Yogs around 85, Graduate 81, F12 79, OPP 57. F2L, unfortunately, 4-point week really kind of crushed their hopes of making playoffs. I mean, they're only 11 points back, but there's 4 teams they have to pass, so it seems a bit tough for them to make it. But the rest of the standings are fairly close. Coney Island Clown Club and XD very likely already in playoffs. They're just fighting for the bye week, I believe, at this point. So, yeah, it's going to be close coming down the wire here for Black Conference. Anybody's got the chance for the third seed between those 4 teams.
Also, a point of interest because I was curious. I had to go back and look, and yes, Liquidox has brought the exact same lineup for over a month and a half now.
Okay, I will note I was gonna make a lineup when I faced Liquidox to beat his rollover, and then he submitted, and I was like, "Oh crap! Okay, I'll just submit my other lineup." And then he submitted the exact same lineup. I'm like, actually baited.
It's awesome.
So he is still submitting, but not changing. The
It's the
classic
true
Liquidox
strat.
gambit.
I mean, that's an even better move than just letting the rollover happen.
Yep.
Okay, and that closes Black Conference for us. I'll keep us moving into the Pink Conference, where we're going to start with a strong match by one of our hosts here. Yeah, I'll stop who's talking dynamically. I'll just do it last second because I figured out I should. And this is a last second decision, but we do things like this in the show. So, Chicken, tell us about a perfect Murloc facing Canindians.
Yeah, this was a crucial win for the Canadians. Kind of keeps us alive in the playoff race, and yeah, gives us a bit of hope that we can finally, or finally, just like limp our way into playoffs, and then hopefully do well from there. But yeah, it was not a great start to the week either. I think Fire Noodle lost fairly early on, but after that, the wins just kind of started slowly coming in. Um, I had my match on stream against Genji on Saturday, which really came down to the wire. Um, Genji very graciously decided to not beat me with his rogue deck, so I was when I was playing Warlock. So Got the win there. Play, but yeah, that series was very very intense and back and forth. But yeah, can't really say the same for Diamond's match against Chewy. He was kind of describing what was going on, and he was doing a little high roll. I'm sure he played quite well as he usually does, but yeah, I don't think Chewy had much of a chance in that match. As I feel a lot of matches are kind of going in this particular meta, but yeah. Everyone else kind of clutched up and put some points together. G-Kick staying undefeated in Pro Series. Um, the doubters are in shambles right now.
That they are. Ooh.
Yeah, G-Kick is not only undefeated, but his opponent for this week, Parallax, is also still undefeated because he subbed out.
So true. Bit of a last second sub.
A way not to lose. Now, I want to ask here, Ron, anything you want to add about this one?
Yeah, just a nice move. Parallax dodging G kick there, stay undefeated. But a perfect Murloc looking totally fine here, still at the very top of the standings. And huge win for Canadians. They needed this to have a shot with 1 week left, so they've put themselves in the right position.
For sure. Sure. Now, let's take a look at our other match here. The other match we're featuring comes from the other side of the table. Ron, tell us about Lucas Lovebirds facing Sugoi.
All right, so Lucas Lovebirds versus Swagoi, two teams likely out of the race realistically at this point, but still playing for some pride here and getting a big win for Lucas Lovebirds to get their second of the season to complete that 18-10 victory. We had in the 1 seed Molstar for Swagoi did take the 3-2 victory, but the rest of the way went Lucas Lovebirds. ZLSJS getting a 3-0 win, which, by the way, they were 0-2 to start the season, so hell of a tear that they went on to get up to 4-2 now. Luker at 2-4 now with a 3-2 victory in the 3 seed over Jared Pullet. Another 5-game series, this one for Jespine with a win over Risen. And in the 5 seed, wouldn't you know it, another 5-game series with super sub Monsanto coming in to take the victory over Linthesis. Just really close ones across the board. That's uh, 4 sweeps. Four, not, oh my God. There's 1 sweep and there's 4 non-sweeps for 5-game series. I had words in my head that jumbled. Let's move on.
Very well. And Neji, anything you want to add about this one?
Yeah, the match doesn't have a ton of implications for the playoff race itself, but still an interesting one. Like Ron said, having all these game fives is always an exciting way to play the weekly match. A lot of similar decks on Luker's Lovebird sides, besides Jespin deciding to move away from the norm there. But yeah, well done to Luker's Lovebirds. Good win here.
Well done indeed. Ron, tell us, what does this make the pink standings look like in the end?
All right. So, as mentioned previously, the top 3 teams will make the playoffs. So right now, at the very top, we have a perfect Murloc with 106 points. Brushy Tuna just behind with 102. Uh, Criminal Lineups with 94 just behind them. Raging Clues at 93. Canadians just out of it at the moment at 87. And then a bit of a drop off in points as we come to Luker's Lovebirds at 73, Swagoi at 67, and Silverhand Detective Agency at 66. There is one final week remaining for these teams to snag their playoff spots. So right now, odds-on favorites would be the teams above 100 in Perfect Murloc and Brushy Tuna, and kind of a mad race for the three between Criminal Lineups, Raging Clues, and Canadians. However, there is still time to choke. Even the top teams could drop out of it, and someone else could make their way in. Always some excitement at the very end of the season.
Don't tell APM this.
Now,
True to brand. You're the top team of the conference. Why not get full swept and get past?
it's true. I want to take this point to ask, who do you think makes it? And I'm going to start with Ron. What are the three teams per conference that make it?
I'm going Perfect Murloc, Brushy Tuna, and I'm gonna go out on a crazy limb here and say Canadians get their way in somehow. They find a way to get the number 3 spot for the Pink Conference, and for Black, let me just pull up the Black standings again real quick. Black, we've got top team gonna stay that way in Coney Island Clown Club. Zorella's Disciples also almost certainly gets the second spot. And for the 3, uh, I don't think I can deviate from the top teams. I'll just stick with the top point earners and say no pros here punches their ticket. They love making playoffs. It's the while they're in playoffs, that's the challenge.
Very well. Neji, who do you think makes it?
I'm feeling honestly all the same ones Ron said. For Pink, I think the Canadians will somehow manage their way up to third place, and then the top two won't falter. And then for Black Conference, I think Coney Island and XD are really just fighting for the bye at this point. And I think No Pros here has to be in the playoffs because they always upset one of the best teams in the first round. It's just in the script. We cannot allow them to miss.
Very well. And Geranium, tell me, who do you think makes it?
I mean, APM's at the top of their conference. That means Brushy Tuna, Criminal Lineups, and the Raging Clues are making it in Pink.
Brutal.
And yeah, it's just how the script goes. And then in Black Conference, I believe Coney Island Clown Club will make it. I believe Zarel's Disciples will make it, and it wouldn't be a finals without No Pros here, would it? Yeah, I do think No Pros here is going to hold on to it, but the outside chance of Graduate making it is really tantalizing.
Ooh, would love to see it.
And last but not least, Chicken, tell me who makes it.
In Pink Conference, I personally think APM, Brushy Tuna, and Criminal Lineups will make it. Because Criminal Lineups are against Swagoi this week, so they will get a lot of points and make it impossible for us to pass them. But maybe they will choke. But it does seem a bit unlikely for us to. Well, we control how the Raging Clues do because we're against them. But I think Criminal Lambs will really have to drop the ball here in order for us to make it. And for Black Conference, I'm gonna say Coney Island Clown Club and XD are pretty much a lock. And for my last pick, I will pick CMU. I think the Cheesemongers will make it into playoffs.
Nice.
Nice calls here. Still a lot to see. We still have one more week, so I want to wish good luck to all teams, but especially to mine. And with that, let's take a look at Pro PPR. We have our pro specialist, Ron Mexico, telling us who made it. Ron, let us know who is in pro PPR.
All right. So pro PPR, going from the bottom up to the top, starting with honorable mentions, we have Marty B with a 4-2 record, Ridiculous Hat with a 4-2 record. Wait, hold on. Uh, Hat's on here. I'm 4-1. Hat's on. Oh, all right, fine. Number right below or right above Hat, we've got G Kick at 3-0, undefeated. Doesn't make the top 10. Not enough games yet. Still one more. Agent PWE at 4-2 in the honorable mentions. And finally, to round out honorable mentions, another undefeated player with not enough games, God Reed at 3-0. Now moving on to our top 10. We've got Wild 9 at 4-2, Hustle at 4-2, Jammies at 4-2, Dizer at 4-1, Izat at 5-1, in the sixth spot. Seth for Christ at number 5 at 4-1. Got a undefeated who's jumped by a one-loss player. Is that right? Rigged. Parawax at 5-0. Neji Boston scamming his way in the number 3 at 5-1. And lastly, we have not only are these top two undefeated, McBanterface 6-0, Yo Daddy 6-0, 18-8 game scores apiece, but they are also playing against each other on stream this
Yo.
week. What a way to decide who will be the number one PPR player in Pro. Love to see that.
It will be Neji.
Actually, always Neji.
I do love to see that, actually. Surely I
Yeah,
win MVP, guys.
I will note that that Neji has been playing in the 1 most of the season, whereas Parallax has been forced down to the 2. So that's one of the reasons why, even though undefeated, they're in 4th, and then also they didn't play a week. So stay winning.
You consider that the 1 seed is free.
Wait, I know that we're playing a perfect Murloc this week. Okay, yeah. That's a crazy team. Oh my god. I didn't even realize Yo Daddy and Parawax were teammates. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yep. So, with that, done our PPR, I'm going to bring us to our main screen. Unless anyone wants to say anything else about PPR.
Rigged.
You can DM Marty if you disagree with PPR in any way. Just go on a rant. Go for it. And
I
also
absolutely
like
will
to say-
DM Marty about how Marty is in the number 15 spot at 4-2, 16-14, and I'm at 4-1 and off the list. I'm gonna DM him right now.
very well. With that, I'll bring us to the main screen for our checkout question of the night. And our checkout question is a special one. We had a mini set come in today. I know a lot of people had worked the whole day and couldn't really play much. So I want to ask you all, what do you think is going to be a good card and a bad card? And a lot of people answered this before they got to play. So there is no previous information. You may hear some very awkward answers. Get ready for it. Neji, let's start with your good card.
Yes, my good card. Surely I know what that is. Okay, I found it. My good card is Sylvanas, the Accused. I think the ability. Do you want me to read the card?
You don't need to.
It kills a thing, and if you infuse a thing, it steals a thing. There you go. I think it's really good in a lot of decks in the meta. I think this card will force out Bless Priest a bit out of the meta because that deck kind of relies on just going in on 1 or 2 big things. And if you can just insta kill it with a bunch of decks now, which before that's why the deck was good, because most decks can't do that besides like Quest Priest and a few others. So now that a bunch of decks have access to kill a thing and sometimes steal the big thing, I think that's going to be pretty impactful, and we'll shift that a little bit. But just in general, I think it's pretty good. Kill a thing on a stick against like big beasts, maybe, or I don't know what else is going to be meta, but I mean, the card just seems pretty good in general. And if somehow you get infused 7, you being able to steal like a mountain bear or something can just be game ending. So seems good. I'm glad Sylvanas is back, and I'm excited to try out the card.
For sure. And what card do you consider a bad card from this expansion, Neji?
My bad card is Due Process. Um, it's a druid card that I don't see much use for, at least in standard. I'm talking about. I think maybe in wild there could be some crazy mill shenanigans, but seems like there's not a deck for it in standard, at least that I'm aware of. And for the most part, if I'm drawing a card and my opponent's also drawing a card, it's kind of neutral effect. So I don't know. Seems not great in my opinion for standard at least.
Does anyone have anything fast they want to say about these two cards before I move on to the next person?
I
Uh,
agree.
Sylvanas really helping out a lot of decks that didn't have removal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Ron, why don't you tell us about your first great card?
All right. So good card. I've got I was going with uh I just got to pull it up again because I can't remember where I sent it to you because I forgot what the card was.
It is on stream now.
That's right. It was the warrior one. Um so the weapons expert just really good card to help out warrior a lot. I think it probably makes it a player in the meta again. Just it's something you can drop on turn 3 right into the turn 4 card draw weapon, which is really nice if you don't have it yet. And if you do have it, it's not even that bad. You just get to buff the weapon a little bit. So I think it'll really help out with warrior's distinct lack of good cards.
Sure. It is executed on a stick. What do you think is bad from this set, Ron?
And then the bad card, I went with the one that pulls something from your deck, Soul Seeker. Just kind of awful. Um, I just don't see like any practical good use for this card. You're spending a lot of mana, you're getting a 3/3, and you randomly pull a minion from your opponent's deck. There's going to be some moments where you high roll and it's going to be hilarious and funny, and there's going to be a lot more moments where it's extremely bad for you. I think this is pure garbage and doesn't see any play.
Very well. Anyone wants to add anything about these two cards?
But Ron, had you considered that since Theo is going to be bugged for the rest of time, we need more combo disruption? Genius.
Love that Theo nerf.
You said warrior card, best card, and I was thinking you were gonna say call to the stand, and I got hyped.
Smudge.
So, Chicken, tell me about your first card now.
A card that I think is excellent is Sightless Magistrate. Um, it's a very similar effect to Magnifying Glaive, but it's kind of just a little bit of redundancy for an archetype like that. Where like you were kind of really relying before on just Magnifying Glaive to do that sort of thing, but now you kind of have another card that you can rely on to do that. So yeah, now I've and also it's a much more potent effect than Magnifying Glaive. Um, much easier to get value off of this card. Obviously, it helps your opponent a decent bit more, but I think the when you're building a deck around a card like this, I think the benefits outweigh the downsides a lot. And yeah, you can just kind of be a much faster deck than your opponent and then just completely refill.
Sure, for sure. And what card do you consider bad, Chicken?
A card that I think is really bad is Perjury. I don't really understand why this card exists. It's basically like the 2-mana neutral minion that discovers a secret. Like the secret would come into play on the next turn. You kind of trade the mana cost of playing the secret for the body. But yeah, you know, Paladin is a class that has secrets, and you will get these in your pool a lot, and they'll always be terrible. You basically only ever want mage secrets, and even some of the mage secrets aren't good. And there are 4 classes with secrets, so you won't even get a mage secret all the time. So most of the time, this will be absolutely terrible.
And it gets
Like,
hard countered by tight-lipped Witness on curve, which obviously everyone's going to be playing.
this is true. This is true. But yeah, Secret Rogue was like an archetype that I thought the devs were trying to support, and they printed this pile of garbage. I don't really get it. Like they could have printed a good secret and they didn't. So
Uh, yeah, chicken. This is a miss from you. Perjury is not only Halkias support because it's more of a guarantee that it will proc and it will res the Halkias, but in addition, the other rogue secrets are trigger when you play a minion, trigger when you cast a spell, and trigger when you spend all your mana. So in effect, this card reads, your opponent has to carefully consider the minion, carefully consider, whether they're casting a spell, and then also maybe not spend all their mana on that turn. Like they have to consider all these things, and then you still get value because you're going to get a secret off the end of it. It's not like super fantastic, but it's definitely not worst card in the set.
Tight-lipped Witness meta.
yeah, can't wait to you know spend 2 mana in Rogue to get a card that I would not put in a Paladin deck in a million years. And Paladin is a very good class right now, as everyone knows. So
But
Just you watch when I sub into pro again and I build a new paladin, huh? Then I'll play all these
yeah,
cards you say you wouldn't.
please put secrets in against me. I would love that.
but chicken, Perjury could be any secret. It could even be a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you always get a mage secret? Rogue is one of the classes with
Yeah,
secrets, right?
it's from another class.
But
Yeah.
I don't think it guarantees one from each class. I think it just
I think it does. Because the 2 mana card has the same text, right? The one that's like a 2/2 minion.
Yeah,
well, the
right,
2/2
you're
does
gonna-
not guarantee a mage secret.
Okay, but it gives you one of each type.
What?
I
Does
think
it not?
I think you're right that it doesn't give you like 2 choices that are the same class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean,
I'm
by
not saying it's good. I'm just saying
yeah,
we get a
by
mage
that
secret.
specific rule of how we've already seen it function with another card, it would give you guaranteed a 1 mana, 2 mana, or a 3 mana secret to choose from in Paladin, Hunter, or Mage.
Yeah, it'll
You
give
just
you a 3
always
mana
click
secret to
mage.
choose. Yeah.
I agree that
So
it's still garbage though.
So this card reads add a like put a random mage secret in play.
Yes.
It's
We'll
great.
discover
Stay
a
winning.
random mage secret, just a single one, and have 2 options that you won't choose.
You get to look at it for a bit before it goes into play.
It's something. I mean, I guess. I do understand Geranian's argument as well, though. We will see if this becomes playable. But take a look at Geranium's 2 choices. Geranium, start with your strong deck. Or
Oh, come on, be Perjury. Please be Perjury.
It is not Perjury.
Damn.
I don't think Perjury is best card in the set. However, maybe we touched a little bit upon my nerves here because I think best card or one of the best cards in the set is Order in the Court from Paladin. I think Paladin is actually in a great spot in the meta, or at least this past meta. We'll see exactly just how much aggro it can really beat up this meta. But Order in the Court is a fantastic addition in my mind. There have been some wonky brews floating around, stuff of like cheating the jailer into play quite early. There's ideas of, just getting some very high value top end. I don't even think you need to do that. I think you can just slam this in normal Paladin, because what Paladin is lacking is draw and tutoring Cariol. And Order in the Court does both of these things. You will not be running Viper against me because Paladin is a bad class, remember? So I will tutor my Cariol, and I will laugh silently as you are unable to do anything against me, stupid aggro deck.
Genius.
And then, in conjunction with Paladin being risen, being a great addition to your THL lineup, I will say that the worst card of the set is going to be the entire Bless Priest archetype. I think that deck is now very smooge to see all of this combo disruption, to see Soul Seeker pull any one of their very important minions, to see Sylvanas just kill one of their minions on sight, to see Warlock get targeted removal, to see there's like target removal in every single class now. Mage gets some, like, it's just yeah, and then I can't read him. Prosecutor Maltranix to disrupt your turn. Like, every single class is just so much better versus Blessed Priest specifically. That yeah, I don't feel like Blessed Priest is going to be in the meta much longer.
Here to that. Now that I think that is it for our show tonight. Had some fun choices. Tell us in chat, what do you think? Did we miss a card? There's something that you've found to be good. Have we already said something that is not true? We would love to hear it. On behalf of the Hearthcenter team, I want to thank you all for watching us. We have more shows incoming. There are match shows on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Tune in. If you want to play on stream, message the Stream Matches channel. We are always looking for matches. You can also DM me, DM Dr. Fish, DM Saku. We will find you a time if we can. That said, that is it for Hearthcenter tonight. We'll be having a special show next week. Geranium is going to be planning something, so be ready for a surprise. And with that, we are going. We will see you all next week. Thank you so much, and a special thank you, which I didn't say yet, to Neji Boston, Super Chicken, Geranium Battle, and Ron Mexico for joining me. It's obviously always amazing to have you all, and I'm very grateful to have another great show with you all. So have a good night to all our viewers, and we will see you all later. Night, everyone.
Night, everybody.
All right.
Peace.